Yes.
I also see a new person. Oh, but we're starting. Okay, so I'll start. So this topic, tonight's topic, is absolutely my favorite topic. It's my favorite topic because what happens, we get into arguments with somebody and like we say, listen, you have to wear your mask. You're living with somebody or it's your best friend or it's whoever it is, right? You have to wear your mask. What do you mean I have to wear my mask? Why do I have to wear my mask? I was vaccinated. I'm completely kosher. I'm good. Why do I have to wear a mask? You have to wear a mask because the government wants us to wear a mask and you never know. We don't really know what's going on, okay? So you have to wear your mask. Why do I have to wear my mask is the answer. I'm vaccinated. I'm in the middle of eating. They said you don't have to wear a mask when you're eating. I'm eating. I'm vaccinated. I'm not 6 feet near anybody. So please, I don't have to wear a mask. You have to wear a mask because you're endangering my life. You're endangering the life of everybody here in the room. You must put on a mask right now. I'm not putting on a mask. I don't want to put on a mask. You have to wear a mask. No, I don't want to wear a mask. You know what? Forget about it. I don't want to argue with you anymore. Let's just agree to disagree, right? That's what everybody said. They say, let's just agree to disagree. I'm saying you have to wear a mask. You're saying you don't want to wear a mask. We're never going to come to a resolution. I'm going to be a really big person about it. I'm saying, let's just agree to disagree, right? And you say those words, let's agree to disagree. And you think like, oh, look at me. I'm such a powerful, mature person. I'm ready to agree to disagree, right? That's what you think. Whenever you say to somebody, let's just agree to disagree, you think, okay, everything's going to be great right now. We're agreeing to disagree. I'll go, I have my opinion, you have your opinion, and boom, look at us. We're two mature adults agreeing to disagree. Okay, let's get real. Let's get real. All right. You think that, oh, I'm a great person. I'm agreeing to disagree. But let's be honest now. When you agree to disagree, yeah, when you say, fine, let's agree to disagree. I think you should wear a mask. You don't think you should wear a mask. Let's agree. Do you really walk away agreeing that you should disagree? Do you really walk away? Do you really walk away from that saying, oh, it's fine. You have your opinion. I have my opinion. And I'm really good with that. What's the absolutely not. Absolutely not. When you say those words, let's agree to disagree. What? Am I really going to change my mind? What am I really going to walk away thinking, oh, maybe you're right that you don't wear a mask? Am I really agreeing to disagree? Am I walking? I'll give you another example. Here's a great example. Right? This is really, really happening. Yeah, I'm upstate. I'm living up here in the country. And when you come through my property, as you're coming through, you're putting children's lives at risk. Why? Because my grandchildren, they run around on the property, right? And having cars come through the property endangers the children's lives. So I have, let's say I have somebody and he keeps driving through the property. And I've asked him, I said to him, please, don't drive through the property. He's actually a landscaper. He works up here and he mows the lawn. He plows the snow. Not for me. He plows the snow for other people. But he likes to drive through my property to go and plow his snow, right? So I ask him. I ask him many times. I say to him, "Listen, Joe, please stop driving through the property because my children are so little. They're tiny. Your truck is so high and as you're driving your truck, you don't see these little tchotchkes running across the road, running back and forth with their sleds, running back and forth on their skates. They're playing in the snow. And when you drive through in your big truck, you don't see them. And then he says to me back, oh, come on, Dr. Zakheim, coming through your property is the best way for me to get around. And it really is just great. And I say, Joe, it's not, I don't really like it. It's not safe for me for you to drive the truck through my property. Dr. Zakheim, listen, I want to get to the other house. I'm going to continue driving through my property. So like, what am I supposed to do? So he says to me, Joe says, Dr. Zakheim, let's agree to disagree. He thinks, oh, wow, he's such a great guy. Let's agree to disagree. I don't want to agree to disagree. Why would I agree to? Sounds great, but I don't want to agree to disagree. He's endangering the lives of these little children. So I don't want to agree to disagree, right? So even though he's saying, let's agree to disagree, and he's thinking, wow, I'm such a great guy, I'm agreeing to disagree, it doesn't work for me. I'm going to walk away being really upset. Let's give it another example, right? Let's say you come from a family, it's very common, right? You come from a family where you might be more observant than your family, right? You're more observant than your family. And somebody dies, an elderly person, they die from COVID. And the family says, sad, it's all sad. Everybody's very, very sad. The person dies on Sunday. We're making the funeral on Tuesday, they say. We're making the funeral on Tuesday. You say, no, according to Jewish religion, they die today. We have to make the funeral right away. We can't wait. No, we want to wait. We're not ready to make the funeral. We're going to wait till Tuesday. No, mom, dad, according to the religion, we have to get the person buried right away. No, we're going to wait till Tuesday. And what do they say? They say those magic words. Let's just agree to disagree. Now, are you ready to agree to disagree? You're feeling very, very connected to your religion. According to your religion, a person dies, they get buried right away, right? So what does that mean? Let's agree to disagree. They're going to get their way. The funeral is going to be on Tuesday. Are you really agreeing to disagree? What does that mean? What does I agree to disagree mean? It means you're getting your way. You're happy. I'm not getting my way. Joe is getting his way. I'm not getting my way. You're getting your way. Let's go back to the example of the vaccine, right? Of wearing the mask. Let's do the mask, right? I think you should wear a mask in public. I don't think I should wear a mask in public. I think, well, we're going out for dinner and I'm really worried and I would really like you to wear a mask. I'm not wearing a mask because I'm done. I'm vaccinated. People really aren't getting sick anymore. And even if they are getting sick, they're just getting a little bit sick. I don't want to wear a mask anymore. Let's agree to disagree. Am I going to be happy with that? No, you're happy because you've agreed to disagree, but you're getting what you want. You're getting to not wear your mask, but I'm not feeling safe around you. I'm making a party and people are going to be there and I want people to feel safe. So what happens with those words of saying, let's agree to disagree? Where are you? You're in a stalemate. All you've really accomplished is a stalemate. You've accomplished that one person is getting what they want, but the other person's not getting what they want. You're just agreeing to disagree, but you're not coming to any resolution. That's why I find this idea of saying those words, let's agree to disagree. People think, wow, it's such a great thing to say. It shows that I'm a really big person. Not true. When you say those words, oh, let's just agree to disagree, what happens? One person gets their way, but the other person doesn't get their way, or maybe even both of them don't get their way. They have to both say, oh, let's agree to disagree. And it just shows a certain lack of connectedness. You're not connecting. What are you doing to the person? You're actually cutting them off from a relationship with you. You're cutting them off from communicating with you. You're saying, let's agree to disagree. It's over. Conversation is over, right? Why would anybody say that? Why would people, what are you doing? You're avoiding, all you're doing is you're afraid to continue the conversation. You're afraid of the conflict. You're afraid of having a conflict. So you're backing off. You're saying, oh, no. I don't want to go too deep with this person. I'm going to avoid this conflict, right? That's what you're saying. Let's agree to disagree. I'm going to avoid the conflict. By avoiding the conflict, what are you also doing? You're avoiding the possibility of intimacy. You're cutting the person off. You're distancing the person. You're saying, you have your opinion, I have my opinion. I don't agree with your opinion. You don't agree with my opinion. And you know what? At that point, we're done. We're not going to have this conversation anymore. I don't want to talk about it. I'm going to go my way. You're going to go your way. And that's it. What have you really accomplished? You have accomplished saying, listen, I think I am right. I am right. You are wrong. And both people walk away feeling like they are right. They're not, if the possibility was that they're expanding their horizon, okay, you know what? Let me hear what you have to say about mask wearing. Why do you think mask wearing is unnecessary? Why do you think mask wearing is necessary? Why do you think I don't want to take a vaccine. Why don't you want to take a vaccine? Explain it to me and go into the conversation, even though it's going to be a conflict. Yes, it's going to be a conflict. But when you enter a conflict, what are you doing? You're entering the possibility of having intimacy with that person. What happens when you say, let's agree to disagree? What have you accomplished? You've accomplished establishing a distance with that person. You're saying, I have my opinion, you have your opinion, we're not on the same page, let's just leave it alone. Let's just walk away from it. But what have you really done? You've said, there's a wall between us. I don't agree with you. You don't agree with me. So it's over. Let's not talk about it. Let's agree to disagree. Nobody walks away from those words of let's agree to disagree. No one walks away feeling like they're the winner. Everybody walks away feeling like they are the loser. So I think the reason I love this topic so much is because people think when they say, let's agree to disagree, they think that they are being the bigger person, that let's agree to disagree, let's move on. But what have you really done? What you've really done is you've cut the relationship. You've decided that I'm not going into this relationship any further. I don't want to have a conflict with you. I'm not comfortable with this. So I'm just going to cut the relationship off. It's my way or the highway. That's what let's agree to disagree means. All it means is that I don't feel close enough to you to establish intimacy with you. I don't feel close enough with you to get into it with you. I'm afraid to have a conflict with you. That's a lot of times why people say, let's agree to disagree. I'm afraid of you. I'm afraid to have a conflict with you. And since I'm afraid to have a conflict with you, I'm going to avoid this conversation. That's it. I'm going to say, let's agree to disagree because I'm afraid of you. What does that say about a relationship? Is that good? Is that good? If you want to have intimacy with somebody, you want to marry somebody, you're married to somebody and you want to be close to them, what have you accomplished by saying, let's agree to disagree? Nothing good, because all you've accomplished is saying, I don't feel close enough to you to have this conversation. I'm afraid of you. I'm afraid you're going to yell at me. I'm afraid you're going to scream at me. I'm afraid you're going to demean me. I'm afraid you're going to make me feel stupid. So it's easier for me to just say, let's agree to disagree. Now, I just want to add one little caveat to that. Very often in marriages, in relationships, when do we have these kind of disagreements? Very often, unfortunately, we have these disagreements at night when we are tired and when we're going to say all the wrong things and we're not in our best. We're not at our best. So I would like to say that at night is not a good time to have these kind of conversations. They're touchy conversations. They elicit their triggers, and I think it's very important to understand that having conversations that include conflict, timing is essential. When are you going to have that conversation? So very often people say, never go to sleep angry. And they think, oh, never go to sleep angry. What does never go to sleep angry mean? Never go to sleep angry. Let's resolve our problems now. Let's not go to sleep angry. Let's resolve our conflict now. No, no. I believe very strongly it's okay. You're better off going to sleep angry than having it out at night. Conflict at night is a very dangerous time to have conflict. Why? People say things they don't really mean. They're really very tired. Words come out of your mouth that you don't really like. You'll look at them in the morning, and in the morning you'll say, why did I say that? Why did I text that? For me, I know that if somebody brings up a touchy topic after 10 o'clock at night, I will not respond. I absolutely will not answer a text after 10 o'clock at night, because after 10 o'clock at night, I know I'm tired, and I know that I'm tougher. I'm not going to be kind. Whereas if I just leave it alone and I look at it in the morning, that text looks completely different to me than it does the night before. In the morning, I can deal with it. And I'm talking about any kind of conflict. I'm talking about conflict, whether it's about vaccines. I'm talking about conflict about whether it's about politics. I'm talking about anything that may have to do with money. I'm talking about even conflict over real politics. I will not have conversations about politics at night. At night, I might say, let's agree to disagree, and I'll bring it up the next morning. Because at night, I don't want to get into the conflict. I don't want to get into it. And saying those words, let's agree to disagree, that will avoid any kind of conflict. So let's talk about why people want to avoid conflict. Why do people want to say, I agree to disagree? Because they don't want to get into the conflict. So before I go there, Rabbi Katzin, do you want to add on anything in terms of where I'm up to right now? Or should I go into the why? Why are people?
Please continue. Of course, please continue.
All right, so that's my question. What is the problem? Why are people afraid? Why do people say, let's agree to disagree? What's the fear of conflict? Why are people, where does that come from, being afraid of conflict? And as you well know, because you've all been taking this class already for many, many months, where do these things come from? We all know the answer, right? It comes from our childhood. It comes from our childhood. What happens? In our childhood, we may have disagreed with something our parents said. We may have disagreed. And instead of our parents allowing us a voice, instead of our parents saying, oh, come, Tatala, come, sweetie pie, let me hear your opinion. Tell me your opinion. Yeah. Instead of saying that, they say, you said that? You said you hate school? How could you say you hate school? We pay so much money for you to go to school. We put you on the bus. I drive you to school every day. And you're telling me you hate school? Bad boy, bad girl. You're a bad child for having an opinion like that. That is a bad thing. You are bad for having your opinion. What are they saying to you? They're cutting you off. They're telling you, no, I don't want to hear your opinion. Your opinion has no value. It could be about anything. Mommy, I don't want to go to sleep yet. You don't want to go to sleep. You don't. What do you mean you don't want to go to sleep? I want you to read me another story. No, it's time to go to sleep. Just go to sleep. I don't want to read you another story. Go to sleep right now. What happens? A child gets conditioned that their opinion is a bad opinion, that they're not allowed a voice. Now, let's say a child says, I don't really like my teacher. She's so mean to me. You don't like your teacher? How could you not like your teacher? You have to like your teacher. That's your teacher. She's going to teach you how to learn math. She's going to teach you how to be educated. Education is the most important thing. You can't tell me you don't like your teacher. I'm going to punish you for saying you don't like your teacher. What happens? What happens to your opinion? You get pushed down. You say, oh, no, I'm afraid. Or simple thing, mommy, I don't want to wear that sweater. All my friends make fun of me when I wear that sweater. I don't like that sweater. I just bought you that sweater. What do you mean? I'm going to call your father right now. You hear this, Dad? She says she doesn't want to wear that sweater. What do you mean you don't want to wear that? You're going to wear that sweater. We just bought you. You know how much money we paid for that sweater? What happens? What happens when you hear that? You get afraid. You get afraid because you're going to be punished for your opinion, right? We're having this for supper. I don't really like that. I don't want to eat that. Can I eat the other thing? No, I made that. You have to eat that. But I had that yesterday. I know that you have the other thing. Can I have the other thing? Can I have the, no, I made that for supper and finish everything on your plate. Now, is there any conversation? No. Is there any conflict resolution? No. Are you learning about conflict resolution? No. What are you learning? You're learning that your opinion doesn't matter. You're learning that it's not about repairing the problem. It's not about repairing the conflict. What is it? It's the Nike commercial. Just do it. Just do it. Because I said you should do it. Just do it. And what I say goes. Because what I say is the right thing to do. And what happens to us? What happens to us is that we become afraid to have conflict. We're afraid, and that travels through life with us. We get afraid that the person that we love is going to say back to us the same thing that we heard as a child. We're afraid that they're going to be angry at us. We're afraid that we're going to be hurt by them. We're afraid. So what do we do? What do we do? We fake it. We fake it. We make believe that it's okay. So when the person says, oh, I think you should get this car. Now you're already 25 years old, right? You want to buy a Toyota. They want you to buy a Nissan Rogue, right? And you say, no, I really want to buy this. I love this car. I just love this Toyota. No. I want you to buy the Nissan Rogue. What happens? You get afraid to say, but I'm paying for it. Why can't I have the car that I want? Why won't you say that? Because you're afraid that the person, you don't know how to deal with conflict resolution. You never dealt with conflict resolution. You never did it as a child. Your parents never taught you about conflict resolution. All they taught you was keep quiet and do what I do. Do what I say. And what happens is that we don't learn conflict resolution. We don't learn how to communicate. We're afraid of communicating. But what does that do? That does not allow us intimacy in a relationship. Imagine being able to be honest and to be able to say, I've been dreaming about getting this car. This is the car I really want. Tell me about it. Why can't we have, why can't you as an adult learn that conflict does not mean that you're wrong? Conflict does not mean that you're bad. Conflict does not mean that you're a bad kid. Conflict just means that you have an opinion and they have an opinion. And just think about it. For those of you who are in a relationship already, think about it. The fact that you're establishing intimacy and doing this back and forth conversation, what does that do? That creates a relationship. That's a relationship. Avoiding that relationship and saying, oh, no, I'm afraid to have this relationship. What does that do? That distances you from the person. That separates you. That does not give you the opportunity to really be in love with that person because you're not giving them the opportunity to hear what they have to say. You're not giving them the opportunity to voice their opinion. You're cutting them off. You're establishing distance with them instead of establishing intimacy with them. And that's why people do this comment of saying, oh, let's just agree to disagree. Why? Because they're afraid. They're afraid to get into the conversation. They're afraid. So what do? They fake it. They fake it. They fake it. Oh, okay, let's agree to disagree. But are they really? Is anybody really walking away from agreeing to disagree? Is anybody really walking away happy? No, the narcissist, he's walking or she's walking away happy because she got her way or he got his way. One person might be walking away happy, but the other person is definitely not walking away happy. The other person is walking away frustrated, alienated, terrified, but definitely they have been conditioned not to say their opinion. They're terrified of saying their opinion. So what have you really established? Well, the narcissist, they're just repeating the cycle. They're repeating what they saw the narcissist at home in their childhood do. They're doing the same thing. That's called identifying with the aggressor. They're identifying with the aggressor. So some people might identify with the aggressor and they're the bully in the relationship, right? But the other person might be the victim. They might be very intimidated and they might be very afraid. But that is not going to bring to a good, solid relationship. All that's going to do is have you be fearful, afraid, distanced. It's going to create a wedge in the relationship. Agreeing to disagree is a wedge in the relationship. It's not an intimacy. It's not warmth. Being honest in a relationship, that leads to true love. Being fake in a relationship does not. Not only that, but what ends up happening if you're not true to yourself and you don't follow through on what you really believe in, guess what? Rabbi Katzin, this is your favorite word. That does bring you to behavior that is passive aggressive. And I know, Rabbi Katzin, you love talking about passive aggressive behavior. And passive aggressive behavior is very common. Why? Because you're really very angry. You really feel like you haven't been heard at all. You're very angry, but you're afraid to continue the conversation. And therefore, you become passive aggressive. You figure out ways to hurt the person in a way that is not overt, in a way that's deceitful. You end up hurting them. You will hurt them. You'll figure out a way to hurt them because you don't really, you're not happy. You didn't have an opportunity to voice your opinion. It was only their opinion that mattered. It wasn't your opinion that mattered. And we all want our opinions to be heard. We all want to feel important enough that somebody should listen to our opinion. And you know what? Why not? Why not? We don't have 5-year-olds or 6-year-olds or 7-year-olds over here listening to this. We have adults listening. As an adult, you're entitled to your opinion. The question is, how? How do you do conflict resolution? So that's part 3, okay? So part 1 is the question, is agreeing to disagree really agreeable? Is it really agreeable? And now I think everyone here has the answer. Is agreeing to disagree really agreeable? The answer is, I see all those heads nodding. The answer is no, it's not. Why is agreeing to disagree not agreeable? Because you didn't really get what you wanted. You didn't. Neither person is walking away happy. Everyone's walking away unhappy. You're agreeing to disagree. So on politics, let's agree to disagree. but we're not hearing the other person's, we're not accepting the other person's opinion at all. I'm going to walk away from it still with my opinion, and you're going to walk away with it still with your opinion. So agreeing to disagree, no, there has been no resolution whatsoever. It sounds so good, the words, let's agree to disagree, but it's not real. There's no resolution. So then we go to the question, part 2. Why do we agree to disagree? Why do we say, okay, let's agree to disagree? Why do we do it? Because we are afraid. We're afraid to say how we really feel. We're afraid to carry the conflict all the way. We're afraid that it's going to be like when we were a child, that when I gave my opinion as a child, my parents, it didn't matter. My opinion did not matter. Not when I was 6, not when I was 7, not when I was 9, not even when I was 16. If I said, I'm going out with my friends tonight, I'll be home at 10 o'clock. No, you won't. You'll be home at 8 o'clock. But everybody's staying out till 10. Then we're not doing anything bad, but we're going to be over at Anna's house or Diana's house or Mira's house. We're going to be over there. Her parents are home. No, absolutely not. I said you'll be home at 8 o'clock and you're going to be home at 8 o'clock. Your opinion does not matter. And you're getting afraid. They're getting very angry at you. And like now you're getting scared because what's the next line? If you're not going to be here at 8 o'clock, you're not going out the rest of the month. I will not allow you any phone calls at all the rest of the month. So what happens? You're afraid to even voice your opinion. You're afraid to even continue the conversation because you've already now been threatened. So now when you enter a relationship and their conflict is there, you have that same feeling of being threatened. You get afraid. You're same like being the child. But remember that one person may come out feeling intimidated and victimized, but there might be another person that comes out of that relationship. And when they turn 17, 18, 19, and 20, what happens? They become the aggressor. They become that person, that bully. So that's the question. Which one are you? Are you the aggressor or are you the victim? And whichever one you are, that's the person that's saying, let's agree to disagree. And I'm telling you, it's not agreeing to disagree is not a good thing. It's not good for intimacy. Part of intimacy, part of being close to somebody is learning how to do conflict resolution, is allowing your opinion to matter, their opinion to matter, and you hear each other out. But remember my caveat, those conversations do not take place late at night, ever. They take place, when is it? When the timing is right. So now, do we still have time, Rabbi? Because now is part 3. Part 3 is the main piece. How do you have conflict? So I have simple, we could get into it much more in next week's class because there's a lot to say. I could do a little bit now, Rabbi. Do you want to hear I could do a little bit now, or Rabbi, we could leave it at this point.
I think to give a taste is so important because I'm sure people recognize the danger of not addressing it. And I can say from my experience of like organizational management, fear of conflict is the main reason for all the problems, failures, bankruptcies, and destruction of organizations, because it leads to unresolved conflicts, resentments, and everything else. Unless you cannot have a relationship of trust. Unless people can express their opinion without fear of being punished for that, and they are welcome at the staff meeting to express what they think. You don't have a collective wisdom. You don't have mutual trust and respect. You don't have even accountability for results because it was your opinion, not my opinion, and you cannot carry any decisions. So it is crucial for any organization. And I think families will fall apart without it. So it's crucially important.
Yeah. So I do think that if we're going to talk about conflict resolution, I think a class like this, especially from the text that I'm getting over here as we're talking, I don't think it's a 1-week class. I think it's a 2-week class. I think it's really important because we all have this kind of situation. We all have situations where there's conflict. And how do you have conflict? How do you resolve conflict? Where do you go to from it? I have an opinion, you have an opinion. And it's not even always about being in a marital relationship. It's not about being in an engaged relationship. It's not even about being in a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. This kind of conflict can really be in any relationship. It can be in a girlfriend-girlfriend relationship. It can be in a guy-guy relationship. There's always situations of having conflict. And how do we deal with it? Do we just say, listen, let's just agree to disagree? That's what people seem to resort to. They say, oh, let's just disagree. Let's agree to disagree. But when someone says, let's agree to disagree, they're telling you that they don't really care enough about your relationship. They're saying, I don't want to get down and dirty with you. I don't want to get into it with you. I don't want to get intimate with you. It's easier for me to just keep you away. And let's just agree to disagree. And that
meaning save time, do it my way.
Yeah, let's save time doing, but neither party is going to walk away happy, right? Both, as soon as somebody says, let's just agree to disagree, what happens? They both walk away really angry. They just both walk away really angry. So let's agree to disagree does not work. It does not work. It doesn't work. You don't need to take up the conflict right then, but you have, if you really care about the person and you really want to be friends with them and you really want to have an intimate relationship with them, whether it's your friend, whether it's your girlfriend, whether it's your boyfriend, whether it's your partner in life, it doesn't matter who it is. You've got to not agree to disagree, but have the conversation, have the conflict. And how do you do that? So I have 10 things that they're just common sense about agreeing to solve conflict. So I could go there, but Rabbi, I think we should save them because it's 9 o'clock. And I think I really wanted to drive that point home. I don't want to go further on this. I really wanted to drive the point home that when you say, let's agree to disagree, Irina posted it and she posted agree to disagree, disagreeable, right? It's really a question. Is agreeing to disagree agreeable to anybody? No. Agreeing to disagree, it's disagreeable. Is agreeing to disagree agreeable? No, it's disagreeable. So that's our talk for tonight. I would love to hear what you have to say, Rabbi, for you to add on.
Well, I think maybe we'll just thank everybody and stop the broadcasting and allow people to say something.
I think
we have many people on the Zoom. Okay, thank you so much.
Great idea. Thank you.
Did we stop it? No, just 1 second.